How are we doing today, Twin Flames? Hope you're all doing well. Today I'm continuing this Astrologer Astronomer high, now pretty much turned training process that I've been writing for the past several days by providing you all a special, just because I've noticed it's never done, Twin Flame Tarot reading pertaining to the last quarter moon, aka the third quarter moon, set to rise at around 11:30 p.m., due south at sunrise on October 24th. But first, I decided to tune into what exactly the last quarter moon even is. In terms of the spiritual effects and awakening it provides for the collective conscious. When doing this, I was informed by the spirits, angels, kingdoms, and systems overseeing this reading that the last quarter moon is named this due to the phases in that makes it appear partially lit up in the sky by three quarters. It isn't here just to look pretty, interesting, or change its phases for no reason, as it shifts to this in order to broaden our perspectives to higher levels, to actually heal three quarters of our heart, representing the moon, very surprisingly, from past hurts, limitations, karmic attachments, and heartbreak if we intend this, which we are for sure within this particular reading, to reap the most advantage of its effects, as well as to close down chapters of our lives from 3 weeks prior, very helpful throughout an ascension process, so that we may accumulate all we've learned, what we need to move forward in life quickly without being held back, which we are also going to make sure happens for us within this reading and study session as well. For us Twin Flames, it does all of this just mentioned, but to make it so we see each other clearer, ourselves and our own bullshit clearer, and to wind down and clear out and burn off, which one of the cards here in this reading definitely represents, all forms of negativity and low vibrational thought forms, so that we may come into union at a mature, dignified pace of wholeness, true love for the other, true love for self, as well as integrity in the end. So, now that we've wrapped our heads around what the last quarter moon is, looks like, and what it does for us whenever active, I think now is a great time to get into the tarot reading. To begin, when asking how the last quarter moon of the month of October will be affecting the Twin Flame Collective, especially those at the forefront of their New Earth mission and taking it and their twin union the most seriously, the Knight of Wands is what popped out of the deck to provide us this information. When tuning in, I immediately began to feel the energies of things burning off within our heart, just like I was recently mentioning, tied to past hardships, perceived mistakes even, and unnecessary petty ego battles with others, trying to stay ingrained in the left masculine hemisphere of our brain, mainly with influences from its high vibrational love, coupled with the sun I'm also feeling, telling us to just let it all go. I can actually feel this energy coming from the left, masculine side of the female knight's heart chakra, rising all the way up through the left hemisphere of her brain, up through the left side of her crown chakra, then into the ethers to be transmuted and alchemized into pure love by none other than the spirits and worker spirits of the Hunger Games Ascension Process, really, deriving from the Fairy Kingdom, which they've been in charge of since it began back in 2012. To continue, I'm feeling and seeing two different stories playing out within the way the carefree woman sits on the ground with her knees into the earth beneath her. On one hand, I'm feeling huge Dark Night of the Soul energy playing out within the divine masculine Christ polarity of the union, whom's truly been infected with entities, causing him to partially be the distorted masculine instead, which is just a major emotional breakdown pertaining to how they've played you in the past that they need in order to shut down the part of the beast system they're upholding with their distorted consciousness, distorted poor behavior patterns specific to Satan and his evil, inverted design, and to set themselves free from burdens, keeping them from seeing you as they normally should, treating you as they normally should, and putting you first as their empress and queen, even if you are a male in the divine feminine Christ role. No matter how bad this feels, if you happen to feel it seeping over to your end, know that this is actually a very good thing and is a part of the divine plan of closing down the Age of Pisces timeline of pain, suffering, division, illusions, and curses upon God's innocent children for all eternity, officially ushering in the long-awaited, talked about 5D New Earth Age of Aquarius Paradise timeline, pretty much as a team for the first time ever for most of us. On the other hand, it actually feels as if the young female knight has fallen to the ground, slamming her knees into the earth, due to her very own emotional breakdown occurring at the same time as well. This emotional breakdown on the divine feminine's end is occurring due to the major release of her entire past, stuck doing spiritual work for the system over the past decade, almost officially for me personally, since I met my catalyst twin 10 years ago, mid October in fall season. So, happy anniversary, baby! Which I'm advising everyone to profess to their catalyst twins, near twins, or false twins as well if you had one of these problem childs, although still useful in terms of healing and soul growth and experience in your life along the way. This major emotional release of all emotional releases is just as powerful as the drum she's beating, but even more so, mocking the heavy staccato breathing and heartbeat she's experiencing, because of the pure disbelief of the spiritual war she's won pretty much all on her own. As her knees crash into the ground, major Judgment Day vibes are also coming with this, signifying her role as an inducted member of the Sisterhood of the Rose that she's obtained along the journey, and all of the ones tied to her for so long, crashing down from their ego clouds and being removed from her entirely as a result of her profound power and departure of the rat race she's been enslaved by for so long. After staying stagnant for seemingly forever in this position of waiting, no matter if this was persistent throughout the journey while you were still somewhat active, or if this was persistent throughout the journey with being able to only integrate and focus on healing work due to your specific conditions, the ability to move on with life, this time far past and beyond this old era into the future, which we've made certain of, is now able to be had after all this time, signified by the glad, galloping horse behind her. This is most definitely a Twin Flame card, hell, the Twin Flame card and message that we've been waiting for. When going even further, when figuring out how the last quarter moon of this month will be affecting us Twin Flames, the major arcana of the Chariot is what popped out of the deck while shuffling. Here, I'm seeing two stories playing out yet again, with the man sitting boldly perched on top of the chariot, taking him forth towards his destination. On one hand, I'm feeling him as the divine masculine polarity of the union, and I'm feeling sensations around his head, significant of the confusion he is now undergoing, with your presence erased from his typical sense of feeling you around him and within him, almost on a daily for some of us. This is because of the amount of work you've done to successfully ascend out of the 3D lower realms of existence, but it's also a bit of a Bugs bunny rabbit trick that we're also playing with them, because we have the higher state of consciousness and awareness to do so now, in order to test them and see what they will do with this sudden, out of the norm absence, and see how they will handle being on their own for once, addicted to your essence for so long. Believe me when I say that this is a very good thing, that God is still here steering the wheel with them, although invisibly this time, so that they may make all the right decisions as a true man for once, to get their shit together, find out where they went wrong, and give their divine feminine empress to their divine masculine emperor for the first time ever. Which they will as always, for we are still safe and protected by God, even when it doesn't seem like it, and have a major story that we started long ago to complete. In regards to the divine feminine, still focusing on the thoughts running through the courageous, Rastafarian feeling man, symbolizing our newfound alchemical rapture, I'm feeling thoughts of figuring out what to do next, even dreaming about it innocently in a fun, curious way, as we once did before we began this rigorous adventure, so that we may have a good understanding of what to do with our brand new lives and have all control of these maneuvers, just like he has control of the chariot he bravely rides atop of before we officially take off. This is true power, yet effortless power, over our own lives and destiny that we should have had since birth, truly, and are now getting back and fully acquiring like an old friend we lost touch with long ago, making the Golden Age life story current open within us finally, allowing the actual Golden Age paradigm to also birth right through us as an effect of all this. Doing things that we used to do while your twin struggles with their cleaning work, truly taking it seriously for the first time, such as skating at a skating rink, for instance, and hanging out with old friends that get you, automatically bringing back the old days and simpler times period that we left seemingly forever ago, is all that's left for us to do now. So, as you can see, this is a major flip that we're now undergoing, right back into familiarity, surprisingly, that we have now attained and stolen back from the devil together, which means that it should be quite effortless to slip back into if it's familiar, which I'm going to intend we have help from by God in the fairy kingdom to make it as smooth as possible. Grab your life, grab your keys, leave your children behind if you need to, and be set free into the new world and paradigm that you've co created yourself with all of your hard work, intentions, and seemingly never ending stress. For the past is laid to rest and ready to fall to dust now. Job well done, Twin Flame survivors, and you may enter the gate.